Hello again everyone, Saki here, and welcome to What Exactly is X4? A primer on is X4 Foundations a game that you yourself would be interested in playing? In X4 you play as one character from a faction growing an empire the way you choose. If this is your first time in an X series game, you can attend flight school tutorial, a combat tutorial, an advanced gameplay tutorial which will help you set up trades, stations, all that good stuff. In the base game, you have different starts, which affects your gender, your race that you start, which is also your starting faction, as well as any money, property, and ships that you own. If you own the Split Vendetta or Cradle of Humanity DLC, you also have some different starting locations, as well as the full budgeted and creative mode. Creative mode lets you just pick everything about you, your player, starting ship, property, universe, faction relations. You can set how each individual faction views you, which affects can you trade with them, can you fight with them, can you do missions for them. The budgeted start is great for players that have a valid save game already and have been playing for quite some time. You can set these different settings and give yourself things that you would have in your other save game, but change things like your player or starting faction relationship based on the things that you've done in your last game. The local gate network is your oyster, with plenty of places to go and different races to speak to, each with their own opinion of you as a person, which can dynamically change based on your actions in this universe. Build up your relations with a number of different factions, unlocking things like extra blueprints or military ship licenses, allowing you to make purchases of ships that other factions don't normally have access to. Speaking of factions, there will be two that you will always be at odds with in the base game: the Xenon, which are the old terraforming technology that Earth sent out once upon a time. The people of Earth thought they wanted to terraform some new worlds, so they sent out automated artificial intelligence to do that. And let's just say, Skynet happened, and those AI have decided to declare war on everyone, as well as the cock, and don't laugh, there's an apostrophe there. A bug-like race who really just hates all sentient life as well. So even though you may be on the up and up with most of the galaxy, there will be several groups that will absolutely hate your guts. You can see here in Savage Spur 2, Tharka's Cascade, as well as Matrix 9 and Matrix 451, for example. That is Xenon space. And yes, indeed, you can take your Navy, and you can make them regret their life choices by going in there and wrecking face. But make sure you are well equipped to do so, because these guys are relentless in their attack. If you get in good with a faction, you can look at their individual ships, each with different strengths and weaknesses compared to other factions. If you're a fan of Star Wars or Wing Commander and think, I'm a fighter pilot, I want to help my faction in their war effort by shooting the enemies of my faction, then look for different fighter craft to upgrade with different engines and weapon loadouts. If you're a fan of American Truck Simulator or Euro Truck Simulator and you want to move goods from place to place while making money doing it, get yourself your faction's transporter and ferry goods and services from place to place. If flying in asteroid fields is more your speed, mining the unique resources that live in the rocks, get yourself a miner and go asteroid blasting. Or if running your own navy is more your speed, then save up for a StarCraft carrier and get a bunch of small and medium ships to fill up your flight decks and go hunting. But you're not doing all of this alone. You can hire individual people from space stations, and people are the lifeblood of any business, and you are just one person, so you'll need other people to help you out. You can have captains to pilot your other starships. You can have managers to manage your businesses. You can have Marines that are responsible for boarding any craft that you want to take over with hostility. Service crew to repair up the ships that get damaged without going to a dockyard, as well as ship traders if you want to sell your own ships from your own dockyards. And while the game takes place in a first-person perspective, you can walk around the bridge and the dock areas of your ships. Here on my big carrier with the flight deck down there, We have our Marines, who are used for boarding, as well as our service crew, who are here to repair any damage that we get, as well as pilots that you can command to take action when you're not there. And the great thing about X is you can take command of anything that you own. So if you wanted to let your aircraft carrier do what it does and you want to fly one of the fighters that you own on several missions, you can do that. And it certainly isn't out of the question to own hundreds and hundreds of spaceships. You can see my carrier here has 26 fighters, 1 medium fighter, as well as 4 destroyer escorts in its battle group. And you can assign individual orders and have them follow you, protect stations, do escort missions, all automated. And if being a hands-off boss is more of your approach, set up factories that produce goods that the other factions will buy and sell from you. Getting in good with a faction will allow you to purchase, or you can even steal, certain blueprints that will allow you to produce most of the goods that are required in the universe to function. Those that have played Transport Tycoon or the like would know that you need certain materials to produce certain materials, and those materials need other certain materials to produce those materials and have a supply chain going. Design your station however you want and make sure that you have enough parking for both the medium ships that will bring you goods, as well as the large traders that will be buying and selling a lot of goods from your particular stations. And yes, you can build your own spaceships once you get the blueprints unlocked and enough money to purchase. You can just see by this tech tree what exactly goes into what. Just making ships requires missile components, advanced electronics, turret, shield, and field coils, as well as antimatter converters, weapon components, and energy cells. And you can see exactly where all of these goods are flowing into. You can micromanage each one of these, sell off individual things, or store them up to produce your fleet for absolutely free. And of course, it is a living, breathing economy, so different factions will be flying all over space looking to see what you're selling compared to what they're selling, and if it will be profitable for them, they will make the purchase from you, netting you money. Once you get a little bit further into the game, you will unlock a research headquarters, which will allow you to research things like hacking modules. This will allow you to steal blueprints without purchasing them from your faction. You can research teleportation, which will allow you to teleport different distances away to any ship or station that you own, as well as mods you can apply to any one of your ships if you have the required goods. So allow me to introduce you to Bozo Ta and Dalbusta. They will be 2 of the more important quest givers throughout your time here, even though it's a sandbox and you can do whatever you want, wherever you want. These individuals here will guide you to meeting different factions as well as proceeding those storylines forward. Speaking of missions, mission offers are always on the table. Some are dynamically generated. As you fly by different stations, you'll see things such as escort missions, transport missions, station building missions, as well as each faction having a war goal. You can choose to join a war against a particular side. Once your reputation is high enough with an individual group, they will unlock guilds and different organizations that you can do missions specifically for. And once you get your research station really high up, you can save up enough resources to terraform actual planets. However, you cannot walk on the planets at this time. Walking is restricted to your stations, the cockpit of your ship, and if your ship is big enough, you have docks that you can walk on, as I did with my carrier earlier. Players have individual inventories as well, allowing you to collect different pickups from space in crates, containers, or for mission rewards. You can use these to craft different things that are worth far more than the parts by themselves, as well as seminars to train your crew to be better in individual areas, as well as each system having illegal items that its individual sector police will be on the lookout for. And speaking of sectors, you can indeed own your own. For example, Heretics Inn isn't owned by anyone in particular. You could just move on in, put up some defensive platforms, make sure that no one else has any property around that can stake that claim, and then you yourself can set what is illegal in your area of space, as well as build any station that you want in that space for free without paying the license fee for setting up space, like I did say here in Argon Prime for my 4 factories here. You can also play the game from the map view, giving orders to your specific fighters and groups just by right-clicking and telling them what exactly you would like them to do. All ships can have an automated order queue, allowing you to basically tell them what they will do natively, and at any time you can jump in and tell them a specific order to do, such as, hey, go to that station and trade right now and take those goods to my other station, they need it. And there really is something quite immersive about standing at a landing bay on a station that you yourself have built from the ground up, watching the AI traders come and go. And in fact, nothing stops you from hopping a ride on these other AI ships that aren't even owned by you. Just walk on up, hop on in, stand next to the captain, and you can see Warren. He isn't mine, but he's taken off, and as long as you can teleport, you can get back home. And if you can't teleport, then just enjoy the ride and see where they even go. So if you wanted to stand on the bridge of your own aircraft carrier or get involved in dogfights across space, if you wanted to trade goods and services across, or if you wanted to take over the galaxy or form your own business, then X4 is a great game for you. But that will do it for me, everyone. If you want to see gameplay, long play, ideas on how to get started, check out my playlist. I can also recommend Captain Collins on YouTube as a good tutorial maker for X4, and he's probably got a tutorial that can get you started. But if you're excited about space, you like to do your own thing, you like to make money or perhaps plan trade routes, or you just want to blow some stuff up with some very large ships, then give X4 a try. But that will do it for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you on my X4 series. Take care.